have been so inspired in the kitchen lately. All the fresh ingredients, the warmer weather for fermenting, and all of those things. I'm starting this video on a cool morning. It was actually in the 50s. It felt so nice because we'd been in a heat wave. Mind you, we're back in the heat wave by now, but I really enjoyed this morning. I'm just making a batch of granola here this morning, and I like to have it on my yogurt for breakfast, and we like to have it for cereal in the evenings when it's really hot. So, like I was saying, I have just been so inspired to make recipes for the blog. Fresh raspberries are in the refrigerator from our property. I have been working on a freshly milled sandwich loaf that is super soft, and I finally got it the way I want it, and I'm finally bringing it to the blog. I'm so excited. But it's going to be a couple of days here of me pretty much working in the kitchen because I want to get all of this stuff done. Now, the raspberries are going to be sourdough discard raspberry muffins. Oh my goodness, they are so good. I think you all are going to love them. They're no wait recipe, or you can do them long fermented if you want to, and they are just absolutely delicious. So I am going to get this granola in the oven, and I'm going to get started on these raspberry muffins. So there's a couple of blackberries in there because the blackberry bushes are just starting to produce as well. Now, I like to put my berries in the flour mixture before I actually put the wet ingredients in. It coats them in flour and they don't sink to the bottom like they normally would. So this is a really simple recipe. I'm going to leave a link for it in the description box. If it's not there, head over to therosehomestead.com and search for raspberry muffins and it'll come up. But it's 2.5 cups freshly milled flour, a teaspoon of salt, baking soda, and baking powder, a cup of raspberries. You could use frozen or those from the store. It's up to you. Half a cup of sourdough starter, a cup of buttermilk or milk kefir or milk, whatever you have on hand. And I spilled mine all over the floor, as you can see. And there's also half a cup of olive oil and a half a cup of honey and an egg. And that's it. And you just mix it up, put it in a 12-cup muffin tin, and bake them at 400 degrees for 15 minutes. And they are so good. I never really, just until recently, used my sourdough starter in muffins, but we really like them. They're so soft, and there's just that little bit of extra flavor from the sourdough starter. So here I'm making a simple coffee syrup. It's just a cup of water, a cup of sugar, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. You mix it all together over a simmering heat and let it cool down. And then I put it in a jar, and we add just a couple of, maybe a tablespoon or 2 of this to our coffee. It is so good. Bread has finished kneading. I'm going to get it in a bowl to rise, and we'll talk a little bit more about this recipe in just a few minutes. But right now, I am going to make some fermented lemonade. I got this idea. I was watching a video, Farmhouse on Boone, and she was making fermented lemonade from whey from straining yogurt, and I was like, I have whey. I'm going to try this recipe. And so it's really simple, just lemon juice, sugar, and whey. And then add the rest is going to be water. And I put it in these flip-top bottles to ferment. And in 24 to 36 hours, we will have fizzy, good probiotic-rich lemonade. And I'm so excited. If it works out, I'll probably be making this all summer long. Okay, next, I'm going to be making some fermented pickles. We only have gotten 2 cucumbers so far, and I always, when we're just getting a few things, I ferment it. So I've got these 2 cucumbers. I'm going to slice them up, and the brine is a quart of water and a tablespoon of salt. And I'm going to pack these cucumbers with a little fresh dill and a couple of bay leaves to keep them crisp. I'm going to pour the brine over them and just let them ferment for probably 24 to 48 hours. I'll taste them after 24. It's pretty warm here, so I want to make sure they don't over ferment. And I put a weight in there and a fermenting cap, and we will have some pickles to go with our meals. So let's talk about this bread. I've been making freshly milled bread for a long time, and trying to get a recipe that was perfect for me has taken some time. And the reason it's taken some time, I wanted a recipe that not only was in cup measurements but also gram measurements. So I have people who say I want grams, and then I have people who say I want cups, and it's about 50-50. And so this recipe has both measurements, and it turns out perfect. It is a delicious, soft, slightly sweet loaf of freshly milled bread. Now, I used a combination of hard white wheat and kamut. You can use any combination that you want. I will caution you, if you use all einkorn, it's so much harder to work with, but it can be done. I actually have a recipe just for einkorn bread, and I will try to remember to leave a link for that. If not, you can search it over on the blog. But it's such a simple recipe. It does have one ingredient that you may not have available, and that's sunflower lecithin, but you can substitute an egg for that and it will still turn out really good. So I had somebody ask me, why do you beat your loaves against the table? It gets all the air bubbles out. Have you ever made a loaf and you open it and it has this big hole in the middle? Well, if you do this, you won't have to worry about it. So these are ready to go in the oven. I'm so excited to finally be bringing this to the vlog. So go check that out and let me know if you make it. Well, I hope y'all are doing well. Are you all out of the heat wave yet? Because we were out of it for 2 days and it's back, but it's summer. So what do we expect, right? Well, I hope that you enjoyed today's video and spending a little bit of time with me in my kitchen, and we will see you on the next video.